Players, as promised, this here is a story about Zen Infinity. Now, the story that I'm going to tell covers a period of several years of Zen Infinity's life. But I'm not going to jump right into it. I'm going to give you a bit of background to set everything up and lead you right into it. So Zen Infinity was on Earth, and he found himself in an interesting position. He was outside the fringes of regular society. Most people consider him a villain, but he didn't consider himself quite in that same light. But around him, the Earth, society, and his people were changing. They were being affected by something called the Awakenment. And what the Awakenment did was it essentially, they lost control of their faculties. And they looked to a certain type of authoritarian leader for guidance and to control them. And that leader turned out to be Zen Infinity. Now, these things were being largely manipulated from powers that were off of the planet that Zen didn't have much knowledge of. He did know the principal players that he was dealing with involved in this awakenment were in fact the Saiyans of New Vegeta. Now, the Saiyans of New Vegeta, they had a particular stake in this that Zen wasn't really privy to, and they sent warriors down to the planet to essentially ensure that he was able to, keep control, because like most of the planet was affected, but not everyone. So one of the principal characters that he dealt with was a Saiyan named Dezorier. Dezorier was like a high-ranking intelligence officer in the New Vegeta Empire, and she was like his principal contact. And she relayed information, helped him along and everything. But one of the main things she did was to let him know, like, look, you may be in control here, but we're the ones who are really in control. So step out of line, and we'll replace you. So Zen, he did what Zen does. He continued to look for power and to, amass power and people by his side. One of his enemies, a slayer by the name of Hope, she was one of the people who was affected by the awakenment, and he eventually took her as a lover. There was resistance to him on the planet because not everyone was affected. Like I said, most people were. And there were different heroes and villains that came together and went underground to try to avoid this. Some people like the Vindicate, the Anarchists, many different people who were, don't fall, sorry, many different people, hold on. And we're back. Many different people from the different walks of life of Earth. So Zen was in control of this for a while, maybe upwards to a year. And eventually, heroes and villains who had gotten off world, they figured out a way to counter this. They came back and effectively liberated the planet. So the Saiyan element there, they were defeated. They were disavowed by their government as, seen to be a rogue element. The New Vegeta's empire is like, we didn't have anything to do with that. Those people were operating on their own. Zen Infinity disappeared in the ensuing battle from the perspective of the people who came back to Earth. Hope was killed. It was havoc. But what actually happened was that Zen Infinity was spirited away by some of the few Saiyans that were able to make it out of there, and he found himself imprisoned on a Saiyan prison world. And that, my friends, is where our story picks up.